COVID mandates are collapsing across the globe. In this video, we're going to take a look at upwards of a dozen nations suddenly lifting their mandates. We're going to see how even blue states are beginning to defy Bumblin Biden. And stick with me to the very end of this video, and I'll reveal how, when all is said and done, we may have the Canadian Freedom Convoy to thank for the final end of this nightmare. You are not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here. Great to be with you as always. I'm your newly designated Patriot professor, providing hopeful analysis to help you to think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you haven't done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe. And gang, today is it. Our big announcement is here. I don't know how many of you caught it on our first video today. I have officially renamed February Rhino Hunting Month, and I'm so excited to officially announce our brand new website, reportarhino.com, the only official place where patriots all across the country can report and expose any and all rhinos. My team is compiling a list of your reports for every state and race across the country, so we all know exactly who we need to primary for the midterm races, many of which start this May. Now, I've also included on the site a three-step plan for how we can get rid of rhinos from office and further expose them in the upcoming races. You're going to absolutely love it. So don't wait. Go right now to reportarhino.com and report any rhinos you know of from local to federal level so we can begin taking action against them. Again, that's reportarhino.com. Make sure to share that website with your friends far and wide, and let's together make this the most amazing midterm elections ever. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. Gang, we do appear to be looking at the closing act of the attempted globalist resurgence. We do appear to be seeing the light. Finally, we're seeing the light at the proverbial end of the tunnel. It's being widely reported that COVID mandates are quite literally collapsing all over the world. As of today, upwards of a dozen nations across the globe are suddenly lifting their mandates and putting an end on restrictions on our liberties and freedoms. Let's start with what's happening with the great Patriot Uprising in Canada. As many of you may have heard, the soy boy prime minister there, the prime minister in hiding, Justin Trudeau, totally backtracked on his threat to send in the Canadian military to forcibly remove the Freedom Convoy of tens of thousands of truckers that's effectively shut down Ottawa, the capital of Canada. And with this amazing national uprising going on, we're seeing province after province drop their mandates. The latest as of today is Alberta. They've announced that they plan on chucking the vax passport mandate in their province. And as such, Alberta is part of a growing list of Canadian provinces dropping their mandates. Earlier this week, the Premier of Quebec, Francois Legault, he announced earlier this week that he is officially scrapping a plan to tax the unvaccinated. Quebec was actually considering, we did a video on this, they were considering what they were calling a, quote, health contribution on the unvaxxed because of the supposed financial burden that they were imposing on the rest of society. Well, that plan is now dead. Moreover, the province of Ontario, along with Quebec, they're lifting a number of COVID restrictions. And the Premier of Saskatchewan also announced that he's going to be scrapping the province's proof of vaccination requirements this month as well. Here in the States, of course, well, most red states have not dropped their mandates because they didn't have any of them to begin with. Red states have been functioning in many ways as sanctuary states against the repressive policies of the Bumblin Biden regime. Instead, we're starting to see blue states capitulate. We reported a couple of months back on Colorado's Democrat governor defying Bumblin Biden by openly declaring the pandemic over in his state. And the lockdowns and the mandates, they're gone. And as far as the heavily Democratic state of Colorado is concerned, as of today, they're moving on. This is Colorado Governor Jared Polis. He officially declared just a few weeks back the COVID emergency over, saying people who weren't vaccinated, hey, you know, that's their own darn fault if they get sick. Well, what do you know? A Democrat who's recognizing the role of personal responsibility. Thank you very much. And so it's no wonder that we're beginning to see cities like Denver, along with several other Colorado counties, end their mask mandates, in many respects in open defiance of Bumblin Biden. And as it turns out, Colorado's hardly alone. Even counties in Democrat-infested Maryland are dropping the mask mandate. And so we're seeing more and more blue states joining the already mandate-free red states and finally putting an end to this saga. And on the corporate side of things, Starbucks, the king of woke corporation. Well, actually, I think that's more, technically, that's Netflix. But regardless, even Starbucks has dropped the vax mandate for their employees. So I think Starbucks sees the writing on the wall. And that's because it's not just here in North America, right, with Canada and the States. Sweden has just announced they're ending all COVID-related restrictions as of this week. Sweden's officially done with all this, and they're moving on. As such, they're following Denmark, which has already officially lifted virtually all COVID-related restrictions, and also the Netherlands as well. They've ended their lockdowns as of this week. The nation of Switzerland, too, has announced that they're ending most restrictions, including vaccine passports, as of this month. And perhaps most dramatically, Norway. After 561 days, yes, you heard that right, 561 days of continuous lockdowns, Norway has finally lifted all coronavirus restrictions. Even New Zealand. I mean, if you can believe it, given how radical they've been with the lockdowns and the mandates, even New Zealand is finally ending their quarantine requirements for incoming travelers and reopening their borders, allowing thousands of citizens who've been stuck abroad to return home. So what's going on here? Well, I mean, gang, take a look at this shirt. Why does this shirt resonate with so many people? I love this. By the way, you can get this shirt and many more by clicking on the link below and visiting our awesome merch store. It's a great way to support this channel and spread Patriot hope all across the world. Just click on the link below or go visit store.turleytalks.com. That's store.turleytalks.com. You absolutely love it. But why does a shirt like this resonate with so many people? Faucinocchio. Well, take a look at this. A Johns Hopkins study just came out, which found that lockdowns did little to reduce COVID-related deaths. Now, it's only one study, and it's getting some pushback from other scientists. But isn't it strange that when that study came out this week, the mainstream media basically blacked it out? ABC, CBS, NBC, they all completely ignored a Johns Hopkins study. Why would they do that? You see, I think people are starting to see through all this. They're done. They're done with what appears to many to be a kind of selective science, particularly among members of the mainstream media, that champions studies that justify draconian measures, all the while dismissing studies that would question such measures. They're done with the constant moving of the goalposts. They're done with the radical disruptions to their lives. And this is unleashing a massive populist revolt all over the world. And more nations are feeling that pressure, and their governments are responding in kind. They're scared to death of having their own freedom convoys shutting down their capital cities. And so I think a lot of governments here are being a bit preemptive and ending the lockdowns before trucker convoys or other populist revolts end them. So it does look like COVID mandates are collapsing all over the world. And when all is said and done, we may have tens of thousands of Canadian truckers to thank for it. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded on how woke teachers are getting fired all across the nation. It's going to absolutely make your day. So make sure to click on that link, and I will see you over there. God bless.